we are moving. Some random thoughts. I think we're going on to 4 weeks, almost a month of construction, and it has been quite the process, as you can see. Has it been difficult to kind of see the end result? Yes. And so every day is kind of like a trust the process type of situation. But we take it day by day. Now that all the structural construction is done and we have some paint and things done as well, it is easier to kind of see that everything's coming together. But we have just about a month left before grand opening, and so just thinking of putting all the furniture together, thinking of making sure everything's like functional and fine, because this was straight up a pigsty when we first found it. So I think that's the scariest part, but we're doing our best. You know what I'm saying? We're doing our best. So 3 constructions within 3 years is insane. Within 5 years, but still, what business has to go through 3 constructions, 3 expansions within 5 years? It's stressful. It's a trust the process moment. It's also something to be grateful for. It's also scary and very uncertain, because it comes with a lot of financial investment. It comes with, just uncertainty of like, we're doing all of this and spending so much money and time and effort for, of course, the betterment of our business overall, but it's not ours at the end of the day. So it's like, until we own our own space, this really is, it feels a little bit like, wow, I'm really having to have faith that this is going to be something that feeds into me and feeds into my business and feeds into our community. And it might go away. It might go away in 3 to 5 years. We don't know. So it's kind of like, let's hope we can have it for 10, 20, 30 years. But every day is just like, it tests my character, it tests my trust, it tests my belief in what we're doing here at Roots. Genuinely a character building process, in my opinion. Okay, back at it. Right back at it. All right, it is 8:40 in the morning. We got to the construction site at exactly 7:45 a.m. It has been a few weeks since we've been having, or actually no, a few months. It's been like 1 to 2 months since we've been having to wake up this early. And so it's been tiring for sure and draining for sure. We're not quite at the stage where we could say we're at the final stages. We're still doing some nitty-gritty, like screwing in our ceilings and making sure there's no holes and hard stuff like that. So we're seeing the light, but it's still a little bit worrisome. Okay, all to say, a lot of these days are a little bit chaotic, because it really is just like impromptu Home Depot runs, and then you go and you buy something, you spend 2 hours there because you spent a million years looking for the right thing that you need, and then you come back and they're like, this isn't the right thing that you need, and so we need to go back and change stuff. So 3-4 trips between Home Depot at 7-8 a.m. It's not as fun as it seems. And so, look, people see all the glimmer. People are congratulating us on the move, which is great. You know, I think that that's valid, and I'm glad. You know, thankful for people who are supporting and congratulating, absolutely. But at the same time, it is a lot more stressful than one would ever think. Yeah, so at this moment, Deanie and I, it's hard to really know and feel like this is a good thing. Like, we know in our head, but we won't be able to feel it until probably grand opening, which is what happened last time we moved as well. So, you know, I get it. I understand. Let's be real though. My mom is the badass here because she's been doing so much of the construction herself, because the thing is, me and Deanie, we're having to, one, balance our own personal jobs that we have as dancers, which we did have to cut down on a lot in the past few months. But, you know, just some inevitable ones, or some that we had previously committed to, it's like we can't really do anything about that. So not only are we balancing that, but then, you know, let's say we go to construction site at 7-8 a.m. and we're working until 3-4-5 p.m. We're having to go to routes at 5 and deal with studio operations for the day, and we operate from 5 to 11. So that means we would be working from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., which is really not ideal for anybody. So my mom's been holding it down at the construction site a lot of the time, and then me and Deanie have been doing our best to be present when we can, to help when we can, and then to deal with, you know, all the additional things that were unforeseen throughout each day of construction. And the crazy part is, every day looks different, and every day is, you can't plan it. You can't plan for the day, because as you do construction, things take 3 hours, 5 hours longer than you expected. Sometimes you do a whole thing and then realize that we have to do it all over again because it was done incorrectly. So that's just the nature of this process. And I think the part that people don't talk about is, you know, we do it to save costs. Like, we do it this way to save a bunch of costs, because if we were to pay full cost and hire different people for each project, if we hire an electrician, then we hire paint people, and then we hire the plumbing, and then we hire the mirrors, and then we hire the floors, and then we hire like all these different people, it just won't work. We won't be able to afford it. And that's why, you know, yeah, people are like, wow, it must be expensive. I don't think they know exactly how expensive. Like, I'm talking 6-figure expensive, all right? And so, you know, that's why a lot of studios unfortunately close down, because to reconstruct is a lot of work, okay? And a lot of investment, and a lot of the time, unfortunately, it's not doable, you know? Anyway, we take it day by day. We stay grateful, and we tread on. And like I said, the progress looks much better now than it did, you know, just a few weeks ago. So, you know, we're in a better state now for sure. If first of all, I didn't have the capacity to talk or vlog about this last week at all. But if you had asked me last week, I would not have been all right. That's for sure. All right, let's go to Home Depot. What can I say about this space? So much has happened in the last 5 years of me learning how to be an entrepreneur and a better business owner, and it's been quite the ride. Let me just start with that. Me and my sister, we talk about this quite often. When we first started off with this business, we really started off with the mindset of, I really don't want to give up being a dancer first before having to move on and be an entrepreneur. And so the thought of balancing the two, the fear that entrepreneurship would almost take over. So it took us a very long time to really learn how to embrace this identity of being a business owner, having to really make a lot of sacrifices and reorient our priorities and learn how to have self-discipline and work ethic so that we can really learn how to prioritize roots. And I think that was the biggest learning curve for me, that both entrepreneurship and being a dancer, artist, creative, choreographer, all of those things fully coincide, and learning how to let both bleed into each other is such a beautiful journey. And it really is difficult to balance more in our plate, but I will say this business has really stretched our capacity. And I can't be more grateful than that, because in order to succeed, in order to make a difference, it does require a lot more work. My goal, my desire at all times is to continue to just grow as a person, to be better, be there for other people as a boss or a CEO, a director, a leader, a teacher, a friend, just someone that's here and present with what we're building is something that I found to be very important. And it takes a lot of reminding self to continue to uphold that and keep that, as well as growing our plate. Learning how to uphold a lot more responsibilities takes a lot of honing of skill. It's a learning skill. It's not something that people are born with. It's something that you have to kind of go through the trenches and learn how to do. So if I used to get stressed and overwhelmed having to balance 2 things in my life, 3 things in my life at a time, I think now I'm having to balance like 7, 8, 9 things at a time. And I'm really learning that the stress will never really go away per se. It's really more how you learn how to manage it and learn how to carry it responsibly, right? So I will say this. We've been through thick and thin, having to go through so many transitions. I think this is our 4th transition in a period of 5 years. Can you believe it? Like, what do you mean? And this space was our 3rd transition. It's been quite the journey to ride with the difficult parts of the journey and flow with the changes and the constant transition that happens with a business. And so it's been a beautiful home so far. I think we've seen a lot of community being built here. I've seen a lot of loitering in these parking lots, and I've had a lot of quality conversations and memories here. But with any good thing, it can't be forever. And so the journey goes on as we proceed to a brand new space. And I really do believe that change is always for growth and change is always for the better. And though times might feel hard or uncertain, that there's always going to be good that comes out of it. So it's been quite the ride in this space. Crazy.